matters. Look, relationships are dope, but the way we treat people in relationships.
Right. So kids, please, this is not a lesson in not telling your parents where you are. Please communicate where you are. All right.
So many people know that we have to go into the world and make disciples. But what we're going to speak about is actually how to make disciples. Where do we actually begin? The actual message in detail.
So now my question is, what did you do in that year?
Hit us up on our WhatsApp line or send us a DM on our Instagram page, and we will get that information to you.
Hey Youth Online, what is up? And welcome obviously to Youth Online. We are so excited that you guys joined us tonight. We have an amazing night in store for you guys. First off, I want to start off by getting some prayer requests. We are always praying for you guys, and we want to be more specific. So if you have anything that we could pray for, please drop it in the comments below. Just a couple of announcements before we get into everything. Obviously, we're going to be online next week as well. Same time, 6:30 in the evening. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. In a couple more weeks, come on. But we will let you guys know as soon as we get back in person, and we cannot wait to see you guys in your faces. Second thing is, again, we are still doing small groups. So if you don't have a small group by now, what are you guys doing? Please DM us if you guys don't have a small group, and we'll get you connected. We have some games for you guys to play with your leaders that are coming up, and it's going to be awesome. Also, be with your community. Stay in contact with your community. It's a great thing while you're at home. In case you haven't noticed on social media, if you're not following us, follow us on Instagram at teens_churchalive. We podcast this past week. It is so exciting. Finally did it. Episode 1 is out now. Go check out on our Instagram. Podcasts are coming every Tuesday afternoon, so stay tuned on our social media to see those. We got some exciting things coming your way. I think that is about it. So I'm going to hop into prayer. We have a few people coming in, but let's go ahead and hop on in. Dear Lord, thank you so much that we're still able to come and be with everyone, Lord, that we can still interact with each other, even if we're not in the room, Lord. I pray for our country right now. I pray that you bring peace and you bring unity, Lord. I pray that you bring a spirit of calmness over everyone as there's so much uncertainty happening, there's so much chaos happening, that you just bring a spirit of peace and calmness over everyone, and just know that everything is in your control, Lord. So I lift up our country to you. I lift up our president for guidance, Lord, that he, as he speaks tonight, that he can offer some sort of next steps for us that will calm everything, that will get everything moving back to normal. And I pray that we can go back in person as well. We miss everyone here. So I pray that we can hop back into youth in person again soon. And with all that being said, in Jesus' name, amen. All right, guys, like I promised, we have an awesome night ahead. So I'm going to hand it over to Owen and Jenny for our fun activity. Let's go, guys.
Church Alive presents. Hey guys, welcome to Collision and Exchange. As you can see, our boy Oweezy is back.
I'm back, guys. I'm back. COVID-free.
Yeah, I hope so. You're sitting pretty close to me. Sheesh. Anyways, guys, so we're going to be doing the activity tonight. But before that, we're going to reveal the answers to last week's activity.
So, the first question was, who inspired me to call myself Spurgimoto?
Drum roll? Okay, actually, no drum roll. It was Charles Spurgeon. That was the answer, guys.
Colin's question, what country was I born in?
Scotland. Is that like the right accent?
I don't think so.
It's Scotland.
And then Yesh goes, what is my favorite thing to watch?
If you guessed football, MMA, UFC, you guessed correctly. Yeah.
Colin, who is my
To this one, bro. It's your homie.
Dude, my homie has to be Giveon. Giveon all the way, bro.
All right. Toxic artist.
Yesh said, what cultural group am I part of? I don't know this answer.
He is Tswana. I think I said that right.
Yeah,
Try
I
say
wouldn't
it.
know.
Try say it.
Swana.
Hey.
Yeah, let me not do that.
Nah.
Colin says, how many siblings do I have?
He has 8 siblings. 8.
Sheesh. Yo, Spurge, how many pairs of shoes do I own?
I believe he owns 16 pairs of shoes.
Yes, dude, I own like 4, right? Colin, what is my favorite cold beverage?
Now you can answer this one, bro.
Right.
And
It's such a basic, man. It's just Coke.
come on. Okay.
And then, Yesh, how many years have I been a youth leader?
4. I don't know why I
That's-
paused. I honestly don't know why I paused. Sorry.
And then last question, what course did I apply for at university?
Now this is your homie. You should be answering this.
Guys, just want to emphasize that he did get in. He just decided not to.
Hey, that
Course.
wasn't the question. The question is,
Was-
what course did
He
you apply
applied
for?
for teaching, guys. Teaching.
Education.
It's the same thing.
Ah, it's not the
What is
same
teaching?
thing.
Teaching is education.
Education
He
is more
applied
fancy.
He applied for a bunch of stuff. But anyway, let's get into today's activity.
All right.
Into
You're
today's
gonna tell us.
activity.
Oh wait, the winner.
Oh, yeah, the winner, guys. So I already knew who the winner was, and I said on the live, the winner is obviously Ivor. who got
Ivor, he got 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
I would have beat you, Ivor, but I wasn't allowed to answer, dude. I would have gotten 10 out of 10.
Oh, wait,
8
so
out of 10, maybe.
We have quite a few people hopping on. I see David. He says sup, shalom, hey shalom. Lisa Kaluba, Faith, who won and is still awaiting her prize. We'll get that to you soon, Faith. We apologize. But yeah, we're gonna hop straight into today's activity, and Owen is gonna explain that.
Crickle repping me, saying I'm looking fresh. I appreciate you, bruh.
No, because you were on vacation. This guy didn't have COVID. I'm
I
telling
had COVID,
you.
guys. I had COVID.
All right. So today's activity is Who Said It? And we have a whole list of like random sentences. And what you guys need to do is drop down who you think said it. People you can guess are Owen, myself, Sarah, Colin, Yeshua, Ty, and Sierra. Those are the only people. And there are some freaky things on here.
I wouldn't say it's that freaky.
Now, what kind of freaky are you
I
talking
know.
about?
It's not freaky.
Weird, freaky, same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. So, okay, the first one says, I like to eat ice cream on toast with butter.
That's kind of whack, not gonna lie. Kind of whack.
Nah, bruh, it's an ice cream sandwich.
kinda whack.
Literally, it's an ice cream
Just go
sandwich.
get a proper ice cream sandwich from the store, bro.
What if I can't afford? What if I can't afford?
sorry.
But anyways, this person likes to eat ice cream on toast with butter. Let us know in the comment section who you think this person is. Away.
Oh, wait. Next one is I played hockey for 10 years. 10 years is a long time to play hockey, bro, running around the field. But anyway.
Now that person probably has a fire body. 10 years.
Probably. 10 years is a long time, bro.
Hints, just saying.
But let us know who you think it is.
In the comment section, guys. I don't see any guesses unless y'all were like, yeah, just behind. Anyways, third one. I like eating my watermelon with salt.
To me, that sounds pretty good, not gonna lie.
Why do you think that sounds good? It's you who said it, bro.
Why would it be me now? But if you think about the logic, bro, salt brings out flavor.
Sweet and sour.
No, not sweet and sour.
Sweet
but
and
I'm
sour
saying-
pork. Nah, it
Sweet
doesn't
and
make
sour
any
pork.
sense, bro.
I'm just saying salt brings out flavor.
Yeah, but watermelon is sweet.
So the salt just.
Oh, and
Okay,
That's sweet
to
makes
me,
it more
that's how
sweet.
salt works.
Nah, bro, no.
No, sweet is like you can't put sugar on watermelon.
You can, just
Nah,
like
then
people who
what's the
put
point of-
sugar.
What's the point of eating healthy if you're gonna put sugar?
Bro, you get people who put sugar in hot chocolate. Anyways,
Okay.
next one. I once fell into a rose bush and couldn't move for 20 minutes because of the thorns. Because of the thorns. This has to be a clumsy person.
Sounds like a. that
Definitely
sounds
not a girl. Definitely not a girl.
I mean, dude, how do you know? What do you think they would do?
Now, only a James will do this.
Wow.
Only a James could do this. But anyway, if your guess is coming
Keep your
through
guesses coming.
on the live stream. Oh, and go for the next one.
The next one is I would never eat a rabbit.
I almost said something there.
Say it, Jenny.
Nah,
say it,
nah,
say it, say
it's
it.
not
Have you eaten a rabbit
appropriate.
before?
No, I could never eat a rabbit. Okay, I didn't say that though.
Did you say
No,
that?
I didn't say that, but I'm
Okay,
just
okay,
agreeing with the
okay.
person. I would never,
Dude, I
ever.
mean, I once went to, so my family has this, and we went to the farm and there was a hanging rabbit, and I was like, nah. From then, I was like, nah.
Man, can I
Never
tell you,
again.
I'm actually scared of rabbits, low key. Especially, no, like for real, especially the white ones. Like, no racial things, but like the white rabbits, like when you look into their eyes, they're red,
Yeah, it's
bro.
red, it is. It's mad
They look
red.
like demons. I'm sorry, but yeah, I would never eat a rabbit. Oh, and next one.
Next one is, I used to think I was indecisive, but now I'm not too sure. Dude, I thought that was kind of funny, bro.
We
That's
see
kinda
what you did
funny.
there.
That was
We-
kind of funny. Yeah.
you try, you try.
I don't say
Whoever's
that.
on the team that said that, we got
Oh,
it.
yeah,
We
I'm
got
seeing
it.
some answers coming through.
Someone's guessing. Jenny said that. I don't know what I said, but okay, okay. Shalom said Colin, Sarah, Colin. Okay, guys. Hey, suddenly, so we see you actually commenting on time this time. Like last time, you were commenting when the message was happening, bro. We don't know what was going on, but welcome to the party. Okay, cool. So the next one is, I like to eat my noodles raw. This person has problems.
Yeah, dude, I don't know.
Straight problems.
Why don't you just put water in?
Well, why are you eating raw
You're
food?
eating raw.
Are you that lazy or are you that busy? Let me not judge, actually.
Oh, yeah, let's not judge.
Actually, because I know what I put on this paper and it's kind of, it's strange.
Oh, yeah. So the next one is, I started sleeping with the lights off at the age of 15. Only 15. I'm not gonna, dude, I wasn't too far off, bro. I think I was like maybe 9, 10.
Confession time, Owen.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still scared of the dark. I won't even lie. I won't
Jenny
even
still
lie.
sleeps with the lights on.
I still
guys.
sleep with the lights
Jenny
on
still
when I
sleeps with the lights on.
can. When I can. All right, next
She's
one
wasting
is.
electricity. But alright, let's go next one.
Sure.
Next one.
My favorite worship song is Here as in Heaven. I see some people deleting their answers. Don't be cheating. Don't be cheating.
whoa,
Your
calm
answer
down,
is your
calm
answer,
down, calm
guys.
down.
But yeah, my favorite worship song is Here as in Heaven. What's your favorite worship song, bro?
Yo, dude, I like Old Church Basement by Maverick. I don't know what, it's just, dude, it just starts off so nicely. Bro.
Were you listening to that while you were in quarantine?
Yeah, I was.
You
Obviously,
lying.
obviously, bro,
This guy
obviously.
hesitated. He wasn't listening to that.
Obviously.
He was listening to. Hey, let's move on.
let's move.
Okay, you can go for the next
Oh, wait, the
one.
next one is, I got 7 teeth removed. 7 teeth.
Okay, this one isn't very clear. Were these milk teeth or like actual
Like
teeth?
big teeth or like grown-up teeth.
7 teeth. Hey,
Sounds like a lot, dude. I think the most teeth I've got removed was 1, and that was whack. That was painful.
this one's not a black person. Your black mom is not taking you to the dentist to remove your teeth. You will take them out by yourself at home. Anyways, next person. I'm the Kanye West of my generation.
If you guys don't get this, then you haven't been paying attention.
You need to be watching statuses for this
yeah,
one.
Facts.
This person said it quite a bit.
Aye, it is what.
Go for the next one, bro.
This one is, I love going to the mall. Not. I don't like going to the mall. But yeah.
You don't like going to the mall?
Nah, I like going to the
Oh,
mall.
I was
The
about to
person-
say.
The person who said this doesn't like going to the mall.
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
you guys can guess that.
Next one, second last one. I've knocked a person's tooth out. Listen, guys, this one's not obvious. You need to think.
So I
You need to
know
think.
you guys look at me and you think, this boy is knocking people's teeth out, but it's not me, guys.
Ah, bro, in the comment section, Crystal said eating rabbits. Jenny, nah. Nah.
I think she's saying like you wouldn't eat rabbits.
Oh, okay.
I-
Lisa Kaluva said Colin eats raw noodles. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
fair enough.
All right. Why is everyone guessing Colin? A lot of people are guessing Colin and
Colin,
Jenny.
You've done a lot of these things.
And
bro.
Jenny, just saying.
Colin and Jenny, yeah. But yeah, guys, last one is I think avocados are gross. To be fair, they are.
No, they're not. They're actually pretty dope. Have you ever had like avocado with sugar? Like you mash up the avo and you put sugar
Yo, guys,
and
can I
lemon
tell
juice
you,
and lemon
Jenny,
juice.
Wasn't Jenny just roasting me about saying watermelon on salt sounds good?
Nah, but avocado
And then
doesn't
she's
have
putting
like a.
avocado on sugar.
It doesn't have a taste though without anything, so you can
That's
actually add to it. I don't know what you're talking about. Watermelon with salt. That's
Watermelon with
sweet and salt. Nah.
Dude, what do you mean? Well, avocados don't have a taste. bruh.
Exactly, so
But
you
nah,
can
it's
make
whack.
them
So
taste
why
like
make
something.
Them taste sweet. That's just whack, bro. Make them taste salty rather.
What's wrong with you?
Bruh, I only eat avocados in guacamole form, bruh. I can't.
I can't
Those
eat
people who
guac.
put avocado
Nah.
on toast. Whack.
There's too much going on in
Whack.
guacamole. I can't. But okay, guys. So those are the sentences for tonight. Don't forget, you can still submit your answers if you want to. And then next week, we will be revealing the winner. But that is all that my boy
Yeah, guys,
Owizi.
but I also think please just make it clear as to what you're answering. if you're just putting someone's name in the comments, we don't know what you guys are referring to.
Low key.
Like we're looking at these comments now, and we're just seeing Colin, Yeshua, Sarah pop up, and we don't know what.
All I'm saying is some of you did answer correctly.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Some of you did. So we'll see who the winner is next week.
So next week, guys.
So right now,
activity too.
we're handing over. Ish, I almost exposed one of the answers, but anyway, we're handing over to the person doing giving, and that is Spurgimoto, guys. Thanks for joining us for the activity. Bye. That's so awkward.
Wow. Jedi and Owen. We asked them to run an activity, and they did more than run an activity. They were throwing a bit of shade out there. But anyway, I want you guys to drop me a comment in the comment section right now. I'm actually going to read it. Let me know, have you ever been stressed about having to pay a bill? And if you've ever been stressed about having to pay a bill, please let me know, what was that bill? What was that bill? I recently had some sessions that I was attending, and it was wild. Listen, it was wild. The amount of money I had to pay was pretty crazy. Anyway, I'm talking to you guys about giving today. I'm going to keep it nice, sweet, and short. But in essence, this is an encounter of Jesus, or an encounter with Jesus that some people were having, right? And effectively, they started complaining because they had some bills to pay. Listen, I relate to that on so many levels, because bills are like, listen, bills are intense, okay? But anyway, so what they said effectively to Jesus was like, man, do we have to pay our taxes? Our taxes are so high. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, do you ever have a bill that's so high that you're like, oh my goodness, do I have to pay this thing? And so they complained. And this is how Jesus responded to them. This is what he said. And this comes from the book of Mark chapter 12, verse 17. Mark 12, verse 17. It says this: well then, Jesus said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God. He says, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God. What a profound thought, right? What a profound thought if you think about that. Effectively, that was really profound, because had you looked at the coins, they actually had an image on them of Caesar. They had a picture of Caesar. Like, I don't know if you remember, like those the coins back in the day that used to have a picture of Nelson Mandela. It was similar to that, right? And so Jesus made them look at these coins, and he asked them, whose face is on there? And they're like, Caesar. And he said, well, give that to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God. And I have only one question for us today, and it's this: what in your life belongs to God? What in your life belongs to God? Because, see, Jesus was trying to teach these guys a really powerful principle. When you look at coins, when you look at the economy of this world, we shouldn't be freaked out about it because it belongs to this world. The money we have, it's gonna stay here when we die. But the big question is, if people look at you and they look at your life, whose picture do they see? I would hope that when they look at you, they would see the image of God. And if we have the image of God imprinted on our lives, then we should give our lives to God. And that includes our time. We should actually spend time with God. That includes our money. The Bible says where you take that money, right? That's actually where your heart's going to be. So I want to encourage you guys with that. I hope that when you look at your life, you will see an image of God. If not, I hope you would endeavor to start a relationship with God so that you could give yourself to Him, your money to Him, your time to Him, your talents to Him, because you belong to Him. I'm going to pray for you guys right now. And I want you guys to get ready for tonight's message. Lord Jesus, we come before you and we want to thank you for who you are. We want to thank you that you're present in this place right now. I pray and ask that you would touch every single person in the comment section right now, every single person that's a part of our youth that gives. I pray that you would touch them, you would bless them, that when people look at them, they would see an image of you, your image, and that they would feel free and motivated and encouraged to give themselves to you and everything they have to you. I pray and I ask this in Jesus' name, amen. I want to encourage every single one of you guys. I see you in the comments. I see Lisa. I see Jabu. I saw somebody complaining about a bond. I don't know. I think that's Auntie Anna who has to pay a bond. And I really just hope God will bless you in your lives, bless your families. And speaking of blessings, we're about to be blessed by tonight's message by our very own Sarah Oberholzer. She is special. We love her very much. So why don't you show some appreciation in the comment section, send through some clap emojis, some love heart emojis, that's what they're called, as we get ready to listen to tonight's word. So over to you, Sarah. All the best.
Wow, that was such a powerful message. I really love that idea of just, that when people look at us, they see God, like the image of God in us. I think that's so cool. So I want to say, hey, everybody. I know that people have been greeting you this whole time, but welcome again. I'm super excited to be just sharing this message with you. I want to start off by I want us to think about, imagine you are writing a letter to your best friend, or maybe not a letter. I feel like we don't really do that anymore. So maybe just like a WhatsApp message of being like, hey, yo, you wanted to say that, you appreciate them, and just saying like how grateful that you are for them, right? So I'm going to read something. Imagine this is your letter to your friend, where you're saying, you know everything about me. You know when I sit down, when I stand up. You know my thoughts, even when I'm far away. You see me when I travel. You see me when I rest at home. You know everything I do. You know what I'm going to say, even before I say it. And you go before me and you follow me. So I think maybe one of you who was listening to me while I was saying that was thinking about, immediately your bestie popped into your mind. You're like, yeah, that person knows me inside and out. They know exactly what I'm about to say before I even say it. Maybe one of you was listening and you suddenly realized, shoot, I don't actually think I have someone who knows me that well. I think there might have been someone who was listening to me when I was saying that, who is thinking, oh my gosh, I love having people who know me that well. I just wish they were around me like 24/7, all the time, that they were just with me. On the other hand, I think there might have been someone who was listening and was like, no, listen, as cool as it is to have someone who knows you, I'm not so keen on having them around me all the time. I feel like that would be a bit frustrating. I think the whole idea is that basically we all really like to be well known by someone. That's what we want. We want someone to just truly know us. The thing is, we have different ideas about how much time you need to spend with someone to have them know you that well. But I think the one thing we can all agree on, and you can let me know in the comments if you agree about this, and thank you for those praise hands. I appreciate you. Lisa is like really cheering me on. I appreciate that. Is that we don't want to be alone. We don't want to feel lonely. And so the title of my message tonight is, Where is my joy in loneliness? So we've been doing this series, right, called Where is my joy? We've looked at how the Holy Spirit fills us with joy. We've looked at how sometimes there's like this third master, which is a thing or someone that you go to who you try to use to fill you up and to give you that joy instead of the Holy Spirit. And hopefully after listening to last week's message, you realize that everyone goes through seasons in their life where it feels like they don't have their joy anymore, that they've lost their joy. For me, one of the seasons that actually happened a lot in my life, I went through that like multiple times, and something I really struggled with was seasons of loneliness. And so when I was brainstorming this message and just praying about it and speaking to a couple of people about where I should go with this whole idea of where is my joy, I just kept coming back to this idea that we need to speak about finding joy even when you feel lonely. So to me, like I didn't go and check on Google or like check in the dictionary. To me, I think that loneliness is this physical or emotional isolation that makes you feel sad or unwanted. And I think that we experience loneliness in a lot of different ways. For me, I experienced it in 3 specific ways, and so I'm going to highlight those real quick, but don't feel like if I haven't acknowledged this that, oh shoot, like I'm not lonely because she didn't say one of these points. I think the first way we can experience loneliness is forced loneliness. So forced loneliness would be when people or circumstances push you away, and so you feel isolated. At the moment, well, not even at the moment. I feel like it was a bit more of a craze a little while back. People were like obsessed with personality traits, and they were trying to figure out, like put you into specific categories. And so you might have heard the words like extrovert and introvert. An introvert, people would normally classify as someone who gets energy from being on their own, whereas an extrovert gets energy from being around people. Personally, I feel like I'm an extroverted introvert. And I know some of you are going to be like, Sarah, friend, like you can't be both. But I feel like I am, because I love people. Like I really love hanging out with people. When I go to a party and I get to meet new people, it's great. But for me, it's so great until like 2 hours. 2 hours is my max. After that, if you're not in my close circle, to be honest, I just get overwhelmed. I'm like, okay, this is cool, but I kind of feel like I want to go home now. Like, yeah, 2 hours is my max. Like that's a good amount of time of socializing for me. So last year when we went into lockdown, that like very first like level 5, that hardcore lockdown, the first 2 weeks I was good. I was chilling in my room. I loved my house. I was like so good. And then after it got extended more and then extended more, I started to just realize that actually I just missed being around people, and I realized that I felt really lonely. So that's what I would call forced loneliness, where something has pushed you away and you didn't necessarily have control over that. I think the second way that we can feel lonely is loneliness in a crowd. I feel like this one's really hectic because you know a lot of people, and like you walk into a room and you can say, hey, people know your name, they wave, they greet you, but you don't actually feel truly known by any of those people. I think that kind of loneliness can really be heartbreaking and just really difficult. I think often that happens when we build up walls and we kind of guard ourselves because we've been hurt in a past friendship or relationship, or someone betrayed us, and so we don't want to let people in because we're going to get more hurt. But that in turn just becomes really lonely. Then the third type of loneliness, I would say, is self-imposed loneliness. I think this one, this one's hectic. I'm seeing some people say, yes, I appreciate you. Come on, I'm going to try preach it tonight. So I think self-imposed loneliness is when you actually push people away, either because of things like insecurities or self-doubt or just circumstances that make you feel like you need to push people away. I remember being near the end of my high school career in grade 11 matric, and I had my first serious boyfriend, and I'm not even going to lie, I was head over heels for this guy. I literally, like, all of my focus went to him, all of my attention, like every spare moment I had, I was talking to him, doing stuff with him. I was just so focused on him that I didn't realize that I was actually pushing people away because I wasn't being intentional in my other friendships. So self-imposed loneliness is when you push people away because of stuff that you're feeling. And I think we experience all these different kinds of loneliness, and because we experience loneliness differently, we need to handle loneliness differently as well. If you guys agree with that, like, come on, give me some fire emojis. I want to see those things. So I want to just dive into those 3 things a little bit more and just say, like, if you're experiencing a specific kind of loneliness, this is how you should try and handle it, because I don't think you can handle it all in the same way. So when you experience forced loneliness, actually, before I go into this, guys, if you're taking notes, this is where you need to like draw a star or like highlight it, or I don't know, I would say do it in bold if you're doing it on your laptop. I don't know what you're using to make your notes. If you're not making notes, find paper, find something. This is the note you want to make. Okay, so when you experience forced loneliness, you need to actively choose joy. This, I'm going to be honest, is really hard, because I think, yes, loneliness can be like a physical isolation, but I think it's also kind of emotional and just social mindset sometimes. And you can tend to just think that you are alone, and you feel like you're the only one who is alone, and only you are experiencing this. And it gets really easy to be sucked into that idea that it's just you alone. But that's actually not true. There is someone who knows you inside and out. Earlier I was telling you about this letter or this message that you're sending to a friend. And I was actually referencing Psalms 139, verse 1 to 5. I was paraphrasing a bit, but it goes like this. "O Lord, you have examined my heart, and you know everything about me. You know when I sit down or stand up. You know my thoughts, even when I'm far away. You see me when I travel and when I rest at home. You know everything I do. You know what I'm going to say even before I say it. Lord, you go before me and you follow me." I know that it's really easy to feel like you are alone and you're the only one experiencing it, especially when you feel like you've been forced into this loneliness, like there's nothing you could do about it, but you aren't alone. Okay, right here the psalmist is speaking about how closely God knew him. And it's the same with you. He knows exactly what you're going to say before you say it. So when you feel like you've been forced into loneliness, I want you to remember that choosing joy means you need to be honest about where you are and then still lift your eyes upward. This reminded me of a book my mom has been reading kind of recently. It's called Choose Joy, and it's about this woman named Sarah Frankholz. She was diagnosed with this rare autoimmune disease when she was really young, and so it caused her to have chronic pain for her entire life, to the point where sometimes, not even sometimes, most of the time she couldn't even leave the house because she would go outside and the air would be too much for her immune system, and she would really struggle to breathe. So she spent most of her time at home alone in pain. But she chose joy. She chose not to stay in that. She actually started writing a blog, and that blog reached so many people. It's actually reached my mom during her journey when she was fighting cancer, and it was really an uplifting thing to her. And she spoke all about this idea of choosing joy. Because choosing joy doesn't mean that you live in denial of what's happening around you. It doesn't mean that you're supposed to be happy all the time. It actually means that you are aware that you're going through a really difficult time, but you're choosing not to focus on that, and instead you're choosing to focus on God. And that's exactly what Saul, otherwise known as Paul, and Silas did in Acts 16, verse 23 to 25. It says they were severely beaten, and then they were thrown into prison. The jailer was ordered to make sure they didn't escape. So the jailer put them into the inner dungeon and clamped their feet in stocks. Around midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to God, and the other prisoners were listening. So as you can see here, it doesn't say, like they got 1 or 2 punches. No, guys, they were severely beaten. And then it says they were thrown into prison, okay? They weren't just walked, they were chucked in there, okay? That's like they went through the most, and they were feeling probably like down in the dumps. But they chose to pray and to sing to God. And that's exactly what Sarah was doing as well. She was highlighting and honoring God. In fact, at the end of the book, there's all these tributes from her friends just writing about her life, because unfortunately she did pass away when she was 38. And in every single one of their tributes to her, at some point, it speaks about how this Sarah chose joy, and she taught them how to choose joy. So when you experience loneliness and you feel like you can't control it, I want you to remember that God knows you. He sees you, and he sees all the random little thoughts you have, and he thinks you're so funny. He sees you, and he knows exactly what you're about to say when your sibling is just being a pain. He sees you, and he knows you, and he is with you in those moments. And so you can choose to focus on him so that you can choose joy. Now, oh, hey, I'm seeing Christelle gave such a good comment. She's saying the minute you realize how much God has given, you realize that all material things mean nothing to God. I think that's so good. I think it's exactly that. It's about changing your perspective and making sure that you're focusing on God, because he gives you so much, even though you feel like you're all alone. There are other things that are there that are giving you comfort. All right, so it says, I would say my second point would be, when you experience loneliness in a crowd, you need to recognize the value of community. So quick story, is a little bit off track, but not really. I'll bring it back. So my family really loves watching tennis. We are massive tennis fans, I guess. We really love it, especially Wimbledon. Like, we are there for it. And if Federer is playing, guys, our whole family is glued to that TV. I don't even know what it is about him. Like, he just has a special place in our heart. We just think he's the best. And last week, Sunday, we were actually watching the finals at Wimbledon for this year. And as I was watching these tennis players play, I was just reminded of something I heard Holly Furtick say in one of her messages. She was saying how a tennis player, they actually get a penalty if if a coach during like a big professional game like the finals of Wimbledon, if a coach gives them advice or any coaching tips, they actually get a penalty for it because it's illegal for them to be coaching them during that time. So that tennis player, like Roger Federer, he has to be his own motivator. He's got to self-motivate. He's got to encourage himself while he's playing. He's got to be able to assess his opponent and do everything on his own. And I think that's sometimes what it feels like when we experience loneliness in a crowd, where you feel like you have to be the one encouraging yourself. You have to be the one who's constantly picking yourself up. You feel like it's all on you. And if you look at a tennis player compared to a fighter, and before people come at me and actually fight me, I don't know a lot about fighters. I know some people punch, I know some people kick, I don't know a lot. But I do know that there's a point, yes, they go into the battle as an individual fighter, but there's a point where they come back into their corner and their coach is there ready to dress their wounds and to just encourage them to keep playing and to keep going. And that's the difference. I think you have to remember that yes, you are going to get hurt because it can be a battle sometimes, but you also need to be able to let some people in so that they can help you just dress those wounds when you get hurt, because being rejected or being betrayed or being hurt in a friendship is awful. It sucks. But having someone who's in your corner, who's there to give you advice, who's there to keep motivating you when you feel like you can't go on, is far greater than any kind of hurt that you can actually imagine. Even though it might not sound like it, it really is. Like, I can just attest to that. So Ecclesiastes 4 verse 9 to 10 says, 2 people are better off than one, for they can help each other exceed. If one person falls, the other can reach out and help. But someone who falls alone is in real trouble. So that's kind of this picture of choosing to be a fighter rather than a tennis player is what I think of when I hear that verse, that it's so important to actually break down those walls and let a couple of people in, because you do need community. That's how you stop feeling so lonely. And you can get hurt, but there's just having that one person in your corner who's going to bring you out of that is so amazing. Teddy's saying that that is something for him. Good. I'm glad, Teddy. I'm glad it's reaching someone. So I was reading this article by Jill Savage, who's part of the Proverbs 31 Ministries, because I realized, like, yes, it's really important to have community, and yes, you need to break down those walls, but as being partly an introvert, sometimes it is really intimidating. There are times where I don't want to go and speak to people. I'm like, no, I'm out. I'm cool. It's cool. I'll just be here on my own. It's totally fine. And she was saying there are 2 kinds of people who walk into a room. The first kind is the person who says, here I am. They walk in and they're like, come to me, come talk to me, come and help me out. The focus is all on themselves. And there's the second kind of person says, there you are. And they think, oh, you look interesting. Let me go to you and ask you about yourself. Let me find out more about you. And I feel like I need to say to my introverts out there that yes, it's really scary to go and find people, but I want to encourage you, be the type of person who enters a room and says, there you are. It just takes you 20 seconds of courage to walk up to the person and start a conversation. Because when you start the conversation, you allow yourself to be a bit more vulnerable. And you know what, to be honest, most people are actually really friendly. They're just scared to make the first move. So you need to just take those 20 seconds of courage to go and make that move so that you can start building the kind of friendships and relationships that you want, so that you can have people in your corner when you're going through your battles. Thank you, I appreciate you. I've got some really cool people. Jabu's shouting me out. I appreciate that, guys. So I would say that my third point is, when you experience self-imposed loneliness, don't get stuck in your feelings. And I'm not even gonna lie, this is the one that I really struggle with the most, to be honest. I get right there and I sit there in my feelings of being alone and being like, oh, so grumpy and frustrated that like no one wants to be my friend, all these things. Because it took me a long time to realize this, but loneliness is a physical experience. I think even more so though, it's a state of mind. Back when I was in primary school and a little bit in high school, and I was thinking about it even in my first year at varsity, I found myself constantly being in groups of 3, right? Like me and this friend, we just clicked and I'm like, oh yes, it's gonna be my bestie, and then they click with someone else and we're like, yeah, we'll all just be this great group of 3. And then time and time again, I felt like I was just on the outs. I was always just the third wheel. I literally just felt like I was the third wheel all the time, and I felt so upset. If you felt like that, 100%, like, please connect with me so I don't feel like I'm the only one. Let me know that you also felt like that sometime maybe. But as I look back on that now, I realize that actually I was putting myself in that position. it happened to me in one friendship group where I was actually the third wheel. And so then in every other friendship group of 3 that I went into, I just automatically assumed that I was going to be the third wheel because I felt insecure about it. And so I was actually putting myself into the space of being lonely when actually that wasn't the case at all. In fact, there's one of my friendship groups that I was in of a group of 3 that I thought, I was the odd one out. I'm still friends with them today. We've had like 15 years of friendship now because they are like my real true friends, and they didn't think at all that I was the third wheel. I was putting myself in that place. So sometimes we can put ourselves in a place of loneliness. It doesn't always happen, but I think that sometimes we have to pause and actually just acknowledge, is this really what's happening, or am I feeling insecure about myself or about this friendship? And so I'm withdrawing myself and putting myself in this place of loneliness. And for a while, I used to get really upset about this. And then I read something in John 11, verse 33 to 35, and it really encouraged me. My TUS guys, if you guys are listening or watching, you've heard me speak about this before, so you know exactly where I'm going. But it said, when Jesus saw her weeping and saw the other people wailing with her, a deep anger welled up within him, and he was deeply troubled. Where have you put him? He asked them. They told him, Lord, come and see. Then Jesus wept. So the backstory to this is there's these 2 girls, Mary and Martha. They mentioned earlier on in Jesus' ministry. There's quite a lot of sermons that are done on them and quite a lot stuff known about them. If you don't know about them, go and find out about them. They're really cool. It's very interesting. You can learn a lot from them. But they had a brother named Lazarus, and he is described in the Bible as Jesus deeply cared for him. He was a really important friend to Jesus, and he was actually really sick. And so they sent Jesus to come and heal him. And Jesus took this really long route, and he actually got there by the time that Lazarus had passed away. And I'm sorry, if you haven't read the story before, spoiler alert, Jesus actually raises Lazarus up from the dead. But what strikes me is he knows that he's going to raise him up. He knows that he's going to bring Lazarus back to life. But he actually stops, and it's one of the shortest, I think it's actually the shortest verse in the Bible, which is literally 35, where it says, then Jesus wept. He stops and he cries. He stops and he acknowledges all the emotions and the feelings that are happening in that moment. And so I think when you feel lonely, even if when you've imposed it on yourself, it's okay, and it's actually really good and important that you stop and you recognize and you acknowledge all of the feelings that you're feeling about being lonely. But you can't get stuck there. That's the problem. When you get stuck there, then it's game over. See, Jesus asked people to roll away the stone, and then he actually raised Lazarus up. And so I want to encourage you, especially if you're in a space where you feel like you're in self-imposed loneliness, to take steps to roll the stone away. That might be journaling. I started doing that a while back, and it's actually really cool and really useful to just get all my thoughts out, and then I can look at it from a better perspective and be like, oh wait, that's actually not as true as I thought it was in the moment. It might be playing worship music. That's actually something that I found has really helped, especially when I was in seasons where I felt really lonely, is to play the worship music, because it changes the atmosphere, and I could literally feel God's presence there when I was listening to worship music. So that really helped me as well. It might be just speaking to someone about it. Sometimes speaking to someone that you trust helps you get a new perspective, or speaking to a professional. Listen, I know people have a stigma about that, but I'm all for speaking to therapists and things like that. It's so good. I've done it, and I really do. I think sometimes it's really important to do that. And I'm looking at my notes, and I'm going to be honest, I just realized that I've written pray twice. So clearly God is telling you, okay, you need to pray. And I'm going to say it again, you need to pray. In your lonely seasons when you feel like you are all alone, speak to God, because remember, he sees you and he knows you and he knows how you're feeling, but he wants you to talk to him about it. Because then, like it says in Psalms 37 verse 4, when you take delight in the Lord, he will give you your heart's desires. When you are so focused on yourself and your loneliness, I want you to challenge you to just pause. I really feel like someone needs to hear this, that you just need to pause and actually just pray to God about it. Bring it to him. Tell him exactly how you feel. He's not afraid of you using all of your emotions, showing all of them to him. He doesn't mind. Jesus acknowledged his emotions. He shared his emotions when his friend passed. He wants you to talk to him about it. I think my takeaway from this, if you've been listening to all of this, because I feel like it was a lot, and hopefully something, it looks like, I was looking at a lot of the comments, it looks like people were getting something out of this, and I really hope that you do, because I feel like there's someone who does really need to hear what I've had to say tonight. But my takeaway would be that choosing joy brings you a calm delight in who God is and who you are because of him. And the reason I say that is because choosing joy, and I think the answer to my question, where is my joy in loneliness, is that your joy is found in the fact that you can allow yourself to grieve and just acknowledge your own heartache that you experience when you feel lonely. But after you've done that, you can then choose to look to God and to trust that He can be in control of your life, that He is in control of your life, and He's got something good in store for you, even when everything around you just suggests that you shouldn't. You can choose joy so that you don't feel as lonely. So that's what I have to say to you guys today. I really hope that it has encouraged someone. I saw some fire emojis and some clapping hands. I appreciate you guys. It's so much encouraging when you guys are actually like letting us know what's going on. Right now, I'm actually going to hand over to Sierra. So yeah.
Awesome, guys. That was an amazing message from Sarah. Thank you so much. If you guys are struggling with loneliness, or if you felt God speak to you guys for the first time, please shoot us a DM. We want to walk with you. We want to talk with you through that and just walk that journey with you. Also, quick things before we hop out. Number one, don't leave your church family for Friday nights only. We are also doing live stream church on Sundays at 9:30 in the morning. Guys, I know it's early, but God is worth it, I promise. So please join us 9:30 back on YouTube, but on church's YouTube, and we'll be there as well. Don't forget, podcasts every Tuesday afternoon. New ones launching episode 2, so check out what topics we'll be shooting on there. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you stay up to date with what's happening on this channel. And yeah, but do not run away. Coming up next, guys, we have our after party on Instagram Live. So stay tuned. We got an awesome activity for you guys. We want to see you guys commenting. And yeah, I think that's it from all of us here. We'll see you guys there. Bye.
Happy emojis.
You guys are so chaotic. I can't deal.